if I want to reword the title a little more, I actually want to talk about the question setter's perspective in the DILR section, right? So before I start, I just want to see and hope that all of you are active, right? So I know, I mean, you've been here since approximately 2 hours, 45 minutes now, since 10 a.m. But I believe you guys must have learned a lot of things till now as well. So just a couple of minutes more, right? I mean, around 45 minutes from my session and maybe an hour-ish for Vanessa's session. And then right, that's all. Right. So just let me know in the chat, all of you who are here active, you can just write, hi, me, I'm here, I'm active, I'm geared up for the next session, right? For this session rather, right? Just in a way, mark your attendance so that, I also get to know you guys, right? Who all are here and we'll have a fun time together in this session. Okay. Okay, great. Getting a few responses immediately. That's amazing. Kunal, Ravi, Aradhya. That's great. I'm sure a lot of other people as well. Parijat, Devash, Pranjal. Very nice, very nice. Some familiar names as well. Priyal, Rajesh, Sahil. Very nice, very Rajeshwari, sorry. Uh, Darshan, Ronak. Very good, very good. Very nice. Great. So, okay. So let's start with the session. And the goal of today's session, before I come to this, rather, in fact, let me see if I can have a empty slide because I would want to start with the agenda. Yeah, I think I can put on slideshow from here. Right. So what I want to show you in today's session is that when you look at a question, all right, when you look at any kind of DI question or LR question, and when you are studying that, what I want you to focus on is that whatever kind of information you're given, all right, whatever information inside the set, be it a DI set or an LR set, which you're going to get, the information, each step of that information leads to a new news leads to new information which you unlock with in the puzzle you're solving. And sometimes what happens, and actually rather this is the beauty of the cat level sets, is that these steps, they're very elementary, but to feel that they become elementary for you, you need to understand and you need to train your mind. Training your mind is very important because if you don't train your mind with multiple different kinds of questions and sets, then when you will encounter cat questions, cat level questions, you will feel that, oh my god, this is so tough, this is something which is out of my league, right? So what I'm trying to tell you essentially, that a question, be it a cat question, be it a question from the book, or any material you're going to solve, it is going to have some information, right? And each step which is given to you to solve that puzzle, each clue rather, which is given to you, leads to some kind of new information which you unlock in the puzzle which you're solving. And why it's important to look at each step is because each step has its own significance. All right, each clue has its own significance inside the set. What you'll notice, and through the question I'm going to walk you through today, what you'll actually notice is that if a specific step was not included, let's say these are the 5 steps, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 5 clues which are supposed to be there. So a cat level set will never give you an information twice. It will never give you an information twice. So that makes each and every step even more critical, right? And even more important to comprehend and extract the most amount of information that is possible, right? And coming back to what I was saying, if you end up removing even one single clue, you feel that, okay, this is such a normal clue, only such a small clue, and you end up removing that, you will notice that the puzzle cannot be solved. So each clue, however easy to comprehend or however tough to comprehend it may seem, that particular clue, it has an equal amount of importance inside the DI puzzle or the LR puzzle you're going to solve. And what's very important is that you try to extract the most amount of information possible, because otherwise you'll actually feel lost. And the 90% of the reasons why people are unable to solve the DILR sets, even if they feel that they know how to solve, but they're unable to go through, is because they react. They look at a statement, they react to the statement. All right. But this statement from the question setter's perspective requires you to have, let's say, 3 reactions. And you do the most obvious reaction, something which we call as the obeying instructions. You obey the instructions. All right. But from those instructions, the 2 other steps which the question setter wanted you to do, but did not give it to you plainly or simply inside that clue, that is what differentiates an 85 percentiler and a 99 percentiler in DILR. Trust me, that is the only thing. And if you want to go from a 99 percentiler to a 99.5 percentiler in DILR, or a 99.9 percentiler in DILR, the only difference between this person and these people are that they react to the statement faster than the others. The skill set is the same. The only difference is that their reactions are faster. They've trained themselves so well that their reactions are much, much faster. All right. So let's now, without further ado, without wasting any more time, let's now go to the set, right? Let's now look at the set which we want to discuss. And here I'm technically breaking Mindworks protocol, which is that I am not supposed to cover any recent papers ke questions, because essentially you guys are supposed to give it inside a test as well. But I felt that here it was necessary for this session, because when I had given this paper, this was my first attempt, by the way, 2022 CAT, right, wherein I had also gotten my 99 percentile in DLR for the first time. And of course, with my first attempt, I think I started preparing in mid of June, right? So what I realized was there are a few things when I actually came back and solved the set. I mean, inside the exam also, I was not able to go through this set entirely. There were some other sets which were a little simpler comparatively, which I felt in that on that day, which I was able to do to get my marks, and I was only able to do this partially inside the paper. But when I came out of the paper, and with me being teaching for almost 2.5, 3 years now, I feel that there are a lot of learnings from this set, right? And those learnings, a normal person who just wants to teach you will probably not give you those learnings, right? I've actually solved this set maybe 30 odd times, right? And each time I've honestly realized that it's a beautiful set, right? And there's a lot of key elements from a question setter's perspective which you really want to know. before, while you are solving a question. And I mean, there's a lot of learnings which I am sure, apart from just understanding how to solve the set, is, what is something which you're going to look at today. So let's look at the set. Adhara, Bithi, Chaya, Dhanvi, Esther, and Fatima. We like to refer to them as A, B, C, D, E, and F. These six people, right? There are six people. They're interviewers, right? And they're interviewers in a process that awards funding for new initiatives, right? And every interviewer individually interviews each of the candidates. Now, understand, here we are given the list of interviewers, okay? We are not given the list of candidates yet. So don't get lost here. Ki, "Arey, where are the candidates? I don't know." All right. I don't know where the candidates are. Don't get lost there. Focus on what is being told to you. Every interviewer individually interviews each of the candidates individually. So the candidates are also interviewed individually and awards a token only if she recommends funding. So funding, it's like a startup, right? Startup. So it says, awards funding for new initiatives. New initiatives are also known as startups. There are, these interviewers are interviewing these candidates and they want to award funding. Funding basically means money for their ventures, right? A token. So the token, what is a token? The token which they award for funding. A token has a face value of 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, or 13, or 13. So that means one token cannot have two face values, right? A token will have only one face value, which is, prime numbers from 2 to 30, essentially, right? Each interviewer awards tokens of a single face value only. So A will probably award only one token to one token. He can award tokens to as many people as they want to, as many candidates. Okay. But they will award one token value only. All right. So if A is awarding the token value of 2, he or she will not award token value of 3 to somebody else. He or she is only allowed to give the token value of 2. That is the meaning of the statement, right? So again, here we've not come to the clues. This is a paragraph, right? This is a paragraph setting the tone, giving you the information about the passage. Yet there is so many individual elements which you need to understand, which you need to process. It's very important that you process each statement by itself. If you keep jumping forward, if you feel, okay, I'm reading the set, I want to understand everything quickly, I want to finish the set entirely fast, in a fast manner, you won't be able to do. You have to give each and every line the justice it requires, right? Again, moving forward, once all six interviews are over for a candidate, six interviews meaning there are six people interviewing, six interviews are going to happen. That means every candidate is going to get a chance to be interviewed by one of the persons, right? Be one of the interviewers. The candidate receives a funding that is rupees 1,000 times meaning multiplied, okay, times the product of the face values of all of the tokens. Now, this might be a little confusing. So for this, what CAT does, and this is oftentimes CAT does this, which is something, again, why they are, respected, why their questions are so beautiful and respected, is that this is a sort of an ambiguous statement. This is a confusing statement. So what they did was they gave you an example. They gave you an example to explain to you what what it means exactly. So, for example, if a candidate has tokens with face values 2, 5, and 7, so that means they got these three tokens, then that candidate gets a funding of rupees 1,000. So that means the initial 1,000 multiplied by 2 into 5 into 7. 2 into 5 into 7 is basically the face values. So what it's trying to say is that if any candidate gets one token, two token, three token, his total funding amount will be 1,000 into this value, into this value, into this value. This is going to be equal to the funding value, right? I hope everybody is clear till here. I'm going to open the chat. I'm going to look at the chat for a moment. And I hope everything is clear till here. Please just confirm in the chat box before we move forward, of course. Got it? Clear? Okay. Great. Very, very good. Very good. All right. So there's a small delay in the class. I mean, delay in the sense that when I say something, since it takes a little time to process it in terms of the internet and all of those things. What I'm going to say will probably reach to you 10 to 15 seconds after I say it. So whenever I'm going to look at the chats, I'm going to pause for 10-15 seconds. Please don't worry. Right, I'll wait for it to process and for you to hear it and for your responses on the chat before moving forward. Anyway, coming back to the set. So since nobody has any questions, which is great, which is very good. So let's move forward. So till here, and also before again, sorry for digressing, but 2024, 22 rather, was one of the years where people found out, people felt that this paper was very, very tough. All right, and especially this slot. I'm not going to reveal the slot because I don't want you to remember this set when you're solving it as a previous year question. So this slot, when this paper came, it was actually one of the toughest slots. I'll be very honest, till 2022 at least. I mean, even when you compare it to 2023, this was one of the toughest slots, right? People actually, when they came out of the paper, they actually felt that, oh my God, this is so tough. But trust me, it's all about comprehending each and every line. It's always about that. However tough or easier question is, it's all about comprehending one step at a time. However much of a beginner or however experienced you are, it's always going to be the same. So coming back to the question, P, Q, R, S, and T were five candidates. Okay, great. So now we have some information about the candidates. So the candidates are P, Q, R, S, and T. And our interviewers are A, B, C, D, E, and F. Sorry. So they were the candidates who received funding, and the funding they received in descending order were 3,90,000, 2,10,000, 1,65,000, 77,000, and 66,000. So before we move forward, even though the question has not asked us to do anything, they have not asked us to do anything till now. They've just given us information. What can we do? What is a logical step to do? It is to find out whether we can make these values from these face values of tokens or not. That is a very logical step which we can go for. So if I write the tokens values here, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13, the first number, 13, 3,90,000. Now you need to understand this 3,90,000 is comprised of 1,000 into some XYZ number of tokens. Now, this could be one token, two token, three tokens, we don't know. But there is 1,000 involved in each of the phase, each of the funding values, because these are funding values, right? So that means if this is equal to 3,90,000, the actual value of the multiplication of the tokens, which is this part, will actually be equal to, when you take this on the right hand side, when you divide 3,90,000 by 1,000, and you find out that the three zeros actually get cut and the multiplication factor of the tokens is actually equal to 390. So that is something which you have to make. You don't have to make 3,90,000. You have to make 390 in terms of the multiplication. I hope this part is clear. I'm going to move forward a little. I'm going to explain how to get to 390 now, and then I'll just have a look at the chat whether you are understanding or not. So to make 390, you can initially see that 13 into 3 is a very simple multiplication to make 39, right? Now, if you want to add a 0 at the last, this is a tip for all of you. To add a 0 to the last of any number, all you need to do is multiply that number by 10, right? And if you want to multiply that number by 10, you actually have to multiply by 2 into 5. Why? Because 5 into 2 is 10 and 13 into 3 is 39. Now, why am I not trying this with any other numbers? Uh, like any other numbers, like 39 into 1 also can make and 39 into 1 into 2 into 5 can also make 3,90,000. But why am I not doing that? Is because the tokens have these particular values as their face value. So I can only take these values. Okay, I can only take these values to multiply to form the actual funding which they are receiving. Is everybody clear till how I got to 390 here and hence 3,90,000? I'm going to open the chat once more, and I'm just going to have a look if everybody is on board till here. All right, I'm going to go very slow. Right, I don't want to overburden or overwhelm you guys with the set, because if I end up going a little faster, you might feel that the set is a little trickier than it really is. So I just want to go one step at a time. All I'm doing is I am just finding out how to make 390, which is 13 into 3 into 2 into 5. That's all, right? So this is clear to all of you, which is great. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to maintain a repository of this. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 390, for example. 390 is equal to 13 into 3 into 2 into 5. Similarly, my other numbers, for example, 210, I'm going to list down the numbers, which is 7 into 3 is 21, right? And then 2 into 5 again gets me to 210. 165, okay, this is 15 into 11. All right, 165 is 15 into 11. And 15 I can further break down as 3 into 5. All right, so 3 into 5 into 11 is 165. So 1,65,000 because into 1,000. 77 is going to be 11 into 7. And 66,000 is going to be 11 into 2 into 3. Pretty straightforward in terms of all of the steps, right? I'm just finding out the values from the tokens which I'm using to get to this stage, right? Now, the examiner did not ask me to do this. All right, they did not ask me to find out these token values, and maybe you never know. This might end up rendering useless if you end up looking at when you end up going ahead. Maybe you did not even need to do all of this. But why? I'm trying to help you build a habit of understanding each step and trying to extract the maximum amount of information is that this will really help you solve in a better way, trying to extract as much information as possible. Now, there is one more key information which we have not entered. That is that is how many amounts of tokens are we using for each of the numbers. So, like, how many times is 2 appearing? So if you have a look, 2 is appearing 1, 2, and 3 thrice. So I can write that 2 is appearing 3 times. How many times is 3 appearing? 1, 2, and 3. So 3 is also appearing 3 times. How many times is 5 appearing? 1, 2, 3. Again, 3 times. How many times is 7 appearing? 7 is appearing only once. So I'm going to come to this, what these values mean just after noting down everything. How many times is 11 coming? 11 is again coming 1, 2, and 3 times. All right. Uh, Sorry, 3 is coming 4 times. Yeah, that is something I had missed. Sorry, 3 should come 4 times. All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 should come 4 times. All right. And Yeah, and 13, if you look at 13, 13 comes how many times? Only once, right? I believe this should be correct. I'll just have a look once more. 3 comes 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. 2 comes 1, 2, and 3 times. 5 comes 3 times. 7 comes once. 11 comes 3 times, and 13 comes once. So what this is? Do these tokens signify? These tokens signify these particular interviewers. These interviewers are giving these tokens to candidates. So if let's say A gives out the token number 2, all right, I'm going to circle the tokens so that we know that you don't have any confusion that these are the tokens, right? Just circle this, and yeah. So if A gives out token number 2, this means that A gave out token number 2 to 3 people. All right. That is what it means. Out of the 5 people who are there, who are candidates, A gave out token number 2 3 times. All right. This is the set of inferences we have derived till now. Okay. All right. 7 is appearing twice. Oh, right. Right. Sorry. I miss miss that. Thank you. Yeah. So ठीक all right. So I'll verify that also. ठीक 7 is appearing twice. Correct. Right. So this is the set of inferences which we have to draw till here. I hope everybody is on the same page, and you guys giving me answers and even correcting some oversights from my side shows me that you guys are on the same page, which is great. So I'm going to move forward now, right? And I'm going to come to the clues which are given to us. These are some clues, but to use these clues, before we start using these clues, won't it be better for us to know who has given whom? I mean, if you read clue number 1, for example, it says Fatima awarded tokens to everyone except Kahira. And I'll pause here. So what these clues are trying to tell me, that it is telling me who F is going to give tokens to, who A is going to give tokens to, and all. So it will be better for me to put all of this inside a table. All right. So to put all of this information inside of a table, that who is giving whom a token, to further understand the situations in a better format. So we are going to do that, right? We are going to look at each of the clues together, and then we are going to piece that information inside our big table, which we are going to have a look at. So first clue: Fatima awarded tokens to everyone except Kahira. We are going to pause here, all right, because there's a comma. There's a comma here. Wherever there's a comma, please pause there and process that information before moving forward. So Fatima awarded tokens to everyone except Kahira. So Fatima, which is F, which is this person, right? Right here. This person awarded tokens to everybody except Kahira. So awarded tokens to everybody except Kahira, which means tick, cross, 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 and cross, right? Now, maybe this 66 I can write a little lower so that I have some space in my solving place. 66 is equal to 11 into 2 into 3. All right. So we have stored this information. Sorry, everyone except Kahira. I have to write ticks here. Sorry, I wrote crosses by mistake. Ticks, ticks, and ticks. Now, before we move forward, it shows that Fatima awarded 4 tokens. Okay, I'm not saying token number 4. I'm saying awarded 4 tokens, right? So which is the token which appears 4 times? You can see right here, I mentioned that token 3 appears 4 times. So it means that Fatima must have awarded token number 3. I'll repeat this once more. The clue told you, I'll go back to the clue once more. The clue told you Fatima awarded tokens to everyone except Kahira. So apart from Kahira, Fatima awarded tokens to everybody. There are 5 people. That means Fatima awarded tokens to 4 individuals. And if Fatima awarded tokens to 4 individuals, which is the token which comes 4 times, which has been given out 4 times? It is token number 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Correct? That is the only token which has come out given out 4 times. That means Token number 3 corresponds to Fatima. All right, let's move to the next step. While Adhara awarded tokens to no one except Pragnya, which means that Adhara awarded tokens to nobody except Pragnya. That means Adhara awarded tokens only to Pragnya. Okay, all right. Adhara awarded tokens only to Pragnya. I'm going to use the red color. Only to Pragnya and nobody else. Delete all of that. Nobody else. So we are going to look at which token did Aradhana, give out. So which token would Aradhana have given out? The token which has been given out only once, because Aradhana gave out token only once, right? So Aradhana must have given out token number 13. So we can also enter this, that Aradhana must have given out token number 13 and Pragna got token number 13 and token number 3. Now, one more inference, and then I'm going to look at the chat whether you guys have understood everything or not. The next inference is that we know that Pragnya has gotten token 13 and has gotten a token 3. So Pragnya's numbers is going to be 13. I mean, the face value of the tokens is going to be 13 into 3 into something into, something into something into something. All right. Now, if you look at the numbers which we have right here, the funding which has been allotted, only one number is there, which is 390, which has a 13 and a 3. Both of them, 13 and a 3. I mean, even if you look at just 13 also, only 390 has 13 in it, right? No other number has 13 in it as the multiplier. That means that Pragnya, the amount, because Pragnya is the candidate, okay? Remember, downwards is the candidate, okay? Downwards is the candidate. And the rows, like these rows, are the interviewers, right? So candidates are getting funding and interviewers are giving out tokens. So Pragnya, the total amount of funding Pragnya must have gotten would have been 3,90,000. I'm going to pause here and I'm just going to look at the chats, whether everybody is understanding everything or not. Till now, all I've done is I've just used the information given to me in the question. I've done nothing else. I've just tried to maximize the use of the information. That's all. Please tell me in the chat if everything is clear. Very good. Kunal is being very active. Even Devash, very good. And I hope everybody is understanding everything. Clear till now? Pranjal, I think I was very clear mostly, right? I mean, I've been explaining everything in step-by-step format. Try to follow me step by steps, okay? Pranjal, you'll be able to understand. All right. So moving forward, the next step, firstly, what I'll try to see is I'll try to think for a minute or two again. I'll try to see, is there any other information I can possibly find out? If there's nothing else I can find out, then no problem. I will move forward. But if there's anything else I can find out, which is possible using the found information I've put in, which might be possible to put. So I'll have a look. Okay. I'll have a look at the information which I have. Okay. So one moment. Yeah. So let's see. We have one information that Kahira did not get token 13 and did not get token number 3. All right. So which other tokens can Kahira get? Kahira can get token number 2. Kahira can get token number 5. Kahira can get token number 7. Kahira can get token number 11. Right? These are the 4 tokens which Kahira can get. What about R? Which tokens can R get? R can get, if you see, R did not get 13 but got 3. So R can get 3, can get 5, can get even 2, it can get even 2, can get 7, can get 11, right? So right now, if we see that there are a lot of possibilities remaining, right? I mean, if I start listing for S and T also, it's probably the same thing as R, because, the common thing between R, S and T is that they haven't gotten token number 13, but they've gotten token number 3. So right now, at this point of time, I realize that there is no other information which I can find out. So I'm going to move to the next loop. Now, please, before I move to the next loop, again, understand the question. In an ideal case scenario, the question setter wanted me to find out all of this information. But is it necessary that you guys found out this 390? Not necessary, right? This is a step which I call as the or Arun sir also calls that the self-generated thought. This 390. This, from a question setter's point of view, the question setter did not tell you explicitly to find this. But inherently, using elimination, using logic, you could find this out. So you need to understand that these self-generated thoughts are what differentiates you from an 85 percentiler to a 99 percentiler. Now, let's go back to the set, right? And have a look at the questions. Have a look at the clues. Second clue says, Rashida received the highest number of tokens that anyone received. I'm going to pause here. Rashida received the highest number of tokens that anyone could have received. Okay. If you look at the funding amounts, in the case of 390, how many tokens am I awarding? I am awarding 4 tokens. In the case of 210, how many tokens am I awarding? In the case of 210, 1, 2, 3, and 4, again 4 tokens. In the case of 165, I am awarding 3 tokens. In the case of 77,000, I am awarding 2 tokens. In the case of 66,000, I am awarding 3 tokens. So when it is said that Rashida received the highest number of tokens that anybody could have received, it does not mean Rashida is the only person who received the highest number of tokens. It means whatever is the maximum amount of tokens which anybody can receive, which in our case is 4, because the 4 people are recommending funding to Rashida. That's what it is trying to say. 4 people are recommending funding and hence giving tokens. So Rashida got 4 tokens because that is the highest number which is possible. Now, you will notice that Pragnaya already got 390, right? Which also has 4 tokens. So Rashida can get only 210. Okay, this is again another step, another self-generated thought which you have to use. That Rashida can get 210 only and not 390 because Pragnaya has already gotten 390. All right. And I'll tell you, I'll be very honest, when I was solving this or in the exam day, this is the clue which essentially cost me this entire set. Because I thought कि यार ये 390 तो पता नहीं किसको मिला है. On the exam day, I did not comprehend this step that you have to give P390. I had approximately 7 minutes to solve this set. I had already done 2 sets by that point of time, and in 2022, 2 sets had easily given you a 99 percentile. So I had given you 2, I had already solved 2 sets, and I was left with 7 minutes on the clock. So I thought, okay, let's pick up this set. This set seems fairly logical to do so. But I did not take out this 390. So if you did not take out this 390, then you would not have been able to find out this 210 as well. And that's where what I'm trying to say, since the start of the session, is that you need to try to maximize the amount of information which you can take out from a given information, right? That is what the question setter wants you to do. It's like when you're making nimbu pani, okay, lemon water. When you squeeze a lemon, all right, to put it in that, in the glass of water, you are trying to squeeze out each and every last bit of juice from it so that you can, get a very refreshing nimbu pani. So usi tarah se, think about it like that only. All right. So this 210, coming back to the set, this 210 is again a reaction that Rashida has received 210. Why has she received 210? Because going back to the clue says Rashida received the highest number of tokens that anyone could have received. Now, completing the clue, but she did not receive one from Esther. So she did not receive a token from Esther. Okay, all right. So if she did not receive a token from Esther, so we will remove Esther from this picture. Now there are 6 people who are giving tokens. We have, in the case of Rashida, we have already eliminated 2 people, which is Aradhana and Esther. So the other 4 people necessarily have to give Rashida uh, the funding. So all of this will be a tick. That means B, C, D, and F have necessarily given Rashida funding because Rashida has gotten a funding of 2,10,000, and that 2,10,000 comprises of 4 tokens, which is to be given, and each person only awards 1 token to be given. So which tokens now has Rashida received? We can now note this down as well. The tokens Rashida has received is 2, 3, 5, and 7. Why 2, 3, 5, and 7? Because 2 and 5 make 10, 7 and 3 make 21. 210 is comprised of 2, 3, 5, and 7. All right. Now, one more thing. If Rashida has received 210 and has received these 4 tokens, then you can also find out which token has Rashida not received, correct? That is, one of the tokens which Rashida has not received is 13. The other token which Rashida has not received is which one? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. All right. 11 is also something which Rashida has not received, right? So that means if you already have given 13 here to Aradhana, all right, and you only have one place where 11 can go. Why 11 can go at only one place? Because Rashida has not received funding from 2 people. And one of the people who she has not received funding from has given a token of 13 to the other people. That means Esther must have given the token number 11. Not to Rashida, but to other people who she has recommended funding. Is everybody on board till here? I'm going to open the chat. Everybody till here? Everybody okay till here? All right. Great. Very good. So again, as I said, just go step by step. It'll all be clear. All right. Just keep comprehending things one by one by one. Right. So we're going to, complete the set. Now let's have a look. We have used this information that Esther did not give funding to R. E did not give funding to R. We've used that information, right, to the best of our ability, as can be seen from us. Now you remember, one part is still remaining, one kind of information, one kind of possibility is still remaining. We need to know whether E gave a funding to P or not. To check this, we know that P has received a funding of 390. All right. And for 390, you have 13 into 3 into 2 into 5. So, of course, 11 would not have given funding to P also. So you will cross this out as well. This is not given to you in the question. Again, a self-generated thought. If you are, following properly. Okay. This is again something which is important. Okay, let's move forward. Cleon Carlo, you want me to explain the last step? Okay, no problem. I'll just quickly go through that once more. The last step was that I had 2 tokens which are remaining, 13 and 11. All right. How do I know 2 tokens are remaining? R got funding from 4 people. The tokens which R got funding from were 2, 3, 5, and 7, because the total is 210. So 2 tokens are remaining from which R did not receive. Now, these two tokens are 13 and 11. Now, one of the tokens is 13, okay, which A is allotting to people. And it is given to you in the question in the clue number 1 that A did not give funding to R. Okay, A gave funding only to P and to nobody else. It is given to you. And you know that A's token is 13. So 13 is already booked. The only other token which is left to be booked is 11. And you know that E has not given funding to R. So that's why 11 comes here as part of E's funding. E's token, the token which E gives for funding. Okay. Okay. Moving forward, I hope everything is clear till here. Let's move on to the next clue. So we have used clue number 2. Now let's look at clue number 3. BT awarded token to Smera but not to Kahira. Again, let's go back. BT awarded a token to Smera but not to Kahira. BT awarded a token to Smera but not to Kahira. Okay, let's pause here. Okay, let's stop here. Let's go back. Let's go back and let's stop here. Look at something. Okay, before we process this information, we need to figure out a couple of things. All right. Now, the first thing is that we have been given to, it's been told to us that B has not given to, funding to Q. Okay, that is clear. From these, the people who have given funding to Q, we have already found out that 3 is not the person giving to Q, and A, which is 13. So B, if I have to write with a different color in a easier format, Q has not received the funding from 3 and not funding from 13. So any number which has 3 and 13 in it, we should remove those because Q cannot receive a funding from those. So that means, look at 66. 66 is 11 into 2 into 3. So we can remove 66 because F has given funding, right, which is 3. Okay. So if Q's number was 66, which is the amount of funding which Q received was 66,000, then Q should have received a token from F. It is necessary, right? But Q, according to our analysis, has not received a token. So Q cannot be 66. Look at 77. 77 is possible because 11 into 7 is possible. Look at 165. 3 into 5 into 11. Again, there's a 3 here. So Q cannot be 165. Look at 210. 7 into 3 into 2 into 5. Again, there's a 3 involved. So Q cannot be 210. Look at 390. 13 into 3 into 2 into 5. Again, there's a 3 involved. So Q cannot be 390 also. Q cannot be 390. Q cannot be 210. Q cannot be 165. Q cannot be 66. So there's only one number which is remaining for Q, which is 77. I'm going to repeat this step once more for all of you with a different color. Q, we know, according to our clues, that Q has not received funding from 13 and 3, okay, which is F is 3, F is giving the token 3, and A is giving the token 13. Okay, first inference. Second step, if Q has not received the token of 13 and 3, any amount of funding which we found out, right, which was given to us earlier in the question, any amount of funding which involves a 3 or a 13, we should remove that. Why should we remove that? Because if you include 3 as part of funding, then 3 should be given to that candidate. And we know that Q has not received a token 3, right? So if Q has not received a token 3, we should remove those values of funding, that Q cannot receive those values of funding. So 66 is one of the cases. 165 is the second case. 210 is the third case. And 390 is the fourth case, wherein 3 and 13 come when you look at the amount of funding given. The only case where 3 and 13 are not involved is 77. So that means that 77 is the value of funding given to Q. All right. This is again a very important step. This gives us the value of tokens which Q must have received. Sorry, which is 7 and 11. That means that Q will not receive any other tokens apart from 7 and 11. Now, if Q has received a token 11, that means Q must have received funding from Esther. This is again very important, right? Ensuring whatever inferences you're coming to, you're using those inferences inside your table. Very, very, very important, right? Now, coming back to the clue which was given to us. Okay, coming back to the clue, Bithi awarded the token to Smera, but not to Kahira. So Bithi awarded a token to Smera, right, which is here, but not to Kahira. So this means, if you have a look at this, okay, if you try to, sorry, I should not have raised that. If you try to piece this together, what does this mean? This means that B must not be 7, cannot be 7. Why B cannot be 7? Because if B was 7, B would have given funding to Q. And if B would have given funding to Q, so then B would have been 7. 11 is already booked with E. So 11 ko to we don't have to look at in the picture, right? What funding values are remaining to look at in the picture? We have used 3. We have used 7. Okay. Sorry, we have used 11, not 7. Sorry. We use 11 and we've used 13. Okay. We are left with 2, 5, and 7. Those are the values which are remaining. Okay. So Q has, not got a funding from B, but S received a funding from B. Now, S ke liye what all values are left? If you have a look, 390 is gone, 77 is gone, and 210 is gone. So the leftover values are 165 slash 66 and 66 slash 165 for S&T, the total amount of funding which they can get. All right. That means that if B cannot be 7, B must be one of 2 or 5. Why? Because we are left with 3 tokens, 2, 5, and 7. These are the 3 tokens which are remaining. B must be one of 2 and 5 because B is not 7. Right? C and D, abhi hum log ko nahi pata. We don't know yet. Right now, we don't know. But we know that it cannot be 2 and 5. It cannot be 7. I mean, we know that B cannot be 7. That's all. Okay? Let's go back. Let's retrace. Let's go back to the clues. B awarded a token to Smera, but not to Kahira, while Dhanvi awarded a token to Kahira, but not to Smera. Okay. Dhanvi awarded a token to Kahira, but not to Smera. Dhanvi awarded a token to Kahira, but not to Smera. That means, if you look at this picture, look at Q. Q has received only 2 tokens, 7 and 11. Why? Because Q's total funding is 77. And Q is receiving tokens from D and E. So the other number, which is 7, must correspond to D's funding. Right? The amount of the token which D is giving, it must be 7. Why? Because the other amount was 11, which E is giving. So that means Q must not have received funding from C as well. And the 2 values which are remaining are 2 and 5 and 5 and 2 for B and C respectively. Why? Because we have already found out 7 as value for D right here. Okay. One more inference I'm going to come to is that if you look at P, the tokens which P received were 13, 3, 2, and 5. 13, 3, 2, and 5. So P must not have received funding from D. Why not? Because if P received funding from D, then P would have gotten a token of 7. But P did not receive a token of 7. So P did not receive funding from D. P would have received funding from B and C. All right. Now, if you look at B and C, there are 1 or 2 more inferences. But before coming to B and C, I'm going to look at E. Okay. I have 165 or 165 or 66 or 66 or 165. So, and 11, as an amount of funding has come into 3 places, right? If you see, remember 11 has come into funding at three places, which is 11, 165, 77, and 66. Okay? That means whether this is 165 or whether this is 165, whether this is 66 or whether this is 66, they must have received the token number 11, because token level 11 is required to make either 165 or 66 both. So that means that E would have given funding to both S and D. All right, this is again very important. If you look at D, token number 7, token number 7 was given out twice. These two tokens we have already accounted for right here. So that means D did not award a token to D. Coming here, S, if it is 165 or 66, it would have received how many tokens? 165 is 3 into 5 into 11. 66 is 11 into 2 into 3. In any case, S would have received only 3 tokens. In any case, okay, in any case, S would have received only 3 tokens. That means S did not receive a token from C. Why? Because if S received a token from C, then it would end up receiving 4 tokens, 1, 2, 3, and then another 4 tokens. That is not possible. Okay. Because S can only be 165 or 66. The other values are already taken. Okay. So this is something we found out. This means what value can S take? B ka, it's either 2 or 5. We don't know. It could be any one of that. Okay. But if you look at E, it is 11. Okay. And if you look at F, it is 3. So 11 into 3 is 60, 33. 33 into 5 is 165. And 33 into 2 is 66. So S can be any one of them. It can be either 165 or 160 or 66. That is something which we have not found out yet. Okay. But if you look at T, okay, to look at T, you want to first look at B. Whether it is 2 or 5, how many times is 2 or 5 appearing? 2 is appearing 3 times in the list of tokens. 5 is also appearing 3 times in the list of tokens. So if B has awarded token 3 times, can it award another token? Can it award tokens 4 times? If people, when we look at the list of fundings, the number of tokens is only 3 for, either 2 or 5. B cannot award more than 3 tokens. So you will cross, B giving a token to T, and you will pick C giving a token to T, because of the fact that C has to award 3 tokens, whether it is 5 or whether it is 2. And this will then complete your table. All right. I know, I'm sorry. At the last, I might have, gone a little faster, but I felt all of the steps are, you have to take one step at a time, right? So what I want you to do now, I'm going to come to the questions very quickly, in a minute. I'm going to ask you in the chat if everything is clear, right? If everything is being understood. And what I want you to do is, right after your session with Vanessa, please have a look at the set once more. Okay, I'll share the picture of the set, the clues, and this table. I'm going to share both of this in the chat, with you in Telegram. Please have a look at the set and try attempting it once more. I will clarify any questions which you have in the Telegram group, for all Mindwork students. If you have any questions, I'll clarify it in the Telegram group. But please try attempting this set once more so that you are understanding everything. And then when you get stuck anywhere, please feel free to ask me, and I'll definitely help you wherever you're getting stuck. All right, I'll help you out. I'll assist you. Okay? Wherever you're getting stuck, I'll assist you. So coming back, I hope this has been clear. I'm just going to quickly run through the questions. The first question is, how many questions did Kahira receive? Okay, please don't mind the amount of mess which has happened. How many tokens did Kahira receive? If you look at this, Kahira received 2 tokens. So the answer of the first question is 2. 2 tokens received by Kahira. Second questions, which among the following definitely received a token from B3? So which among the following definitely received a token from B, but not from D? So the options are Q, T, P, and R. So amongst Q, T, P, and R, So amongst Q, T, P, and R, which of these people definitely received a token from B, but not from D? So if you look at this, if you look at P, it received a token from B, but not from D. So answer to P ho gaya, but baki bhi dekho. Q did not receive a token from B. So it's not asking this. It's asking which of the following people received a token from B, but did not receive a token from D. Ulta nahi pooch raha, ulta nahi sahi hoga. So of course, Q is not the answer. If you look at R has received a token from B and received a token from D, both of them. If you look at T has not received a token from B. Again, violated the condition. So the condition is true only for P. So P is the answer. Pragnya, that Pragnya definitely received a token from B, but not from Tanvi. All right. How many tokens did Chaya award? Award meaning how many tokens did Chaya give out? Okay. So how many tokens did Chaya give out? If you have a look at this, C gave out. C was either 5 or 2. So C gave out 3 tokens, right? 1, 2, and 3. 3 tokens, right? And how many tokens did Smera receive? So this is the candidate S. How many tokens does S get? Again, 165 or 66 doesn't matter. S received 3 tokens, right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 3 tokens for S. And the last question is, which of the following amount of funding could be the amount of which of the following could be the amount of funding that Tantra received? So T received, the candidate T received. So the options are 66,000 and 165,000. It's neither A or B, only A, either A and B, only B. So it's asking ya to it's only A, either it's only B, yeah, or it's possible that T could have received 66,000 and 165,000. I know either one of them, or T did not receive any one of them. So if you look at our picture, you can see that T received either 66,000 or 165,000. So the answer will be either A or B, which is 66,000 or 165,000. Okay, either A or B. That is the answers for this set. All right, and I mean, just a couple of words to wrap up the session. All I want to say is that please, whenever you're solving a set, okay, however easy or tough it may seem, number one, please solve the set step by step by step. Okay, take it one step at a time. Don't try to rush into it, otherwise you will get lost. That is number one. Number two, and very important, try to understand from the question setter's point of view what kind of possible outcomes can a statement lead to. It's very important that if you will not be able to, if you don't look at it from now itself, from solving, even if it takes you 5 minutes, 7 minutes extra to solve right now in March, that's okay. But if you start that activity in May or June or July, I'm sorry, but that might be too late for you. So please start this activity from now itself. Solve only one DI set. Solve only one LR set. Solve only 2 sets a day. Maybe solve only 3 sets a day. Spend only 20-25 minutes per set. But ensure that you're doing all of this. All right. I hope you guys liked the session. I hope the session was beneficial. Please, leave a like on the stream if you did enjoy it. Right. I hope I was able to clearly explain most of it. Right. I'm sorry if at any point of time you were unable to understand any aspect. I'll be very happy to clear it outside of the session with you guys. Right. And of course, as other mentors have also pointed out, please feel free to leave out, give me any feedback for the session, right? I'll just save all of this, right? And I'll just delete this. Give me feedback. You can take my number, 8874-871-888. You can message me on WhatsApp, right? Or Telegram, or you can mention in the Magic Sundays takeaway. I'll prefer if it is a personal feedback, and also mention any takeaways which you had from this session, preferably 1 to 2 takeaways. If you felt there were more takeaways, please feel free to mention that. Otherwise, that's all from my side. And I hope this session was useful, right? If you have any questions apart from what was discussed, any question in terms of strategy or anything, please feel free to ask. Right, I'm not going to deal with specifics from the set here. If you have any questions in terms of how to deal with such situations, I'll be happy to answer that. But I won't be dealing with specific instances from the set right now, because it'll stretch from the time I have been allotted for the session.